I wouldn't say there are any particularly fundamental themes in my work. I work with lots of different themes depending on the idea that I'm working with at the time, and it often varies from piece to piece, so I wouldn't say there is a singular thrust to what I do. With the fountain, I knew it had to be a waterless fountain and it had to be a beautiful marble form that described a fountain, and I didn't know what form that could possibly be. So I came back to the studio and I was just scratching around looking for an image to describe a fountain, and I had been working with this medical model of the inner ear that I'd been casting and recasting and not really sure what to do with. And then I realised that this could be fantastic as a marble fountain of sorts if it was scaled up and carved. So it's quite an intricate thing, which as a medical model it's all in pieces and it locks together. And that was really the beginning point. Once we got approval to do it, we scanned it, and then I decided just to stretch and pull it and distort it a little bit and aestheticize it. And we had our form from which we could carve. The concept of the work for that sculpture came about because it was prescribed as an outdoor piece and it was in a public space, which isn't something I normally do. And being outside, I wanted to use durable materials, and the most durable materials would obviously be marble and bronze, the most conventional of materials. So I wanted to make a sculpture in marble which described a fountain without water, and that was my starting point. I only did an undergraduate course when I was very young. I went to art school straight after high school, and I didn't do any more postgraduate study, and it really was working alone in the studio for a long time to develop my work. How did I develop technical processes? On the go, really, just out of necessity, just having something that I wanted to make and then try to figure out how to make it, and then eventually, as I was able to afford it, getting professional people to help me with it. I do work in a studio, and I need a studio because it's quite a messy practice. I do a lot of casting, which involves a lot of building and just really fine and quite messy, sometimes toxic work. So there's that aspect to my making, but there's also the aspect of coming up with the form and the idea, and they're two separate areas of activity. And often the first area of thinking of the idea of committing to something requires just a clear space, and the idea might only take a few days of really playing, and then its execution could take anywhere up to 6 months to produce. The process has been incredible. It's been incredibly hard work. And I've only laboured on it on a certain level, but there are stonemasons there right now who are carving away, trying to meet the deadline. So it's exhausting, laborious work, but satisfying. To produce work, I often need others, from the production of the work to its transport, delivery and exhibition. There's people all the way along the line, and you just need to be able to handle that. And I mean, some of my work can appear quite obscure and unreasonable, so you need to be able to set up some kind of line of communication with people so that they'll come in and help you and also be excited and feel that they're involved. And sometimes the limitations of the production, the way in which you make something, will inform how the thing looks. So eventually they do start to work in tandem and inform each other. I've never worked with marble before, and it's been fantastic to actually have the opportunity to work with an amazing material like marble. It's quite unforgiving, but once you get to know it and you really kind of get into a zone with it, it's a lot of fun to work. I mean, the daunting thing was the site being with the harbour backdrop and the bridge and the opera house in the background. So it actually has to sort of speak to Utzon. It's a conversation with Sydney Harbour. So that was a big call, and I mean, it's really like this big, beautiful Baroque shell, and in a way, it's like the jewel in the crown. I often work with existing objects and things that are readily at hand, and often those things which we and I would often overlook, and it's those insignificant kind of objects in a particular physical way suddenly I'm able to recognise, and that's when I get excited and want to work with it.